thinking about living in Newport Beach.
But what is it really like?
Well, actually, so today we're going to show you all of Newport Beach. It's a big city, all of its vast and different neighborhoods.
Every nook and cranny.
Well, not every nook and cranny. And we're also going to show you on a rather gloomy day, because one thing about this channel, we try to be real, right? We try to show you, okay, so it's sunny 300 days out of the year. Yes.
But what is it like out of those other 65 days?
Yeah, what is it like those other 65 days? So here we are on a day in October where it is rather gloomy. So we're going to show you all of Newport Beach. What's it like? What are the different neighborhoods?
And also, it's like, this is unusual because actually October is a rather nice month.
Yes.
Like, it's actually rather warm. In fact, like, you know, Halloween, I can't tell you how many Halloweens we've been like sweltering. I mean, it's like, well, quote unquote sweltering.
Yeah.
It's been very hot, whereas here right now, the last few days, it's actually been rather gloomy.
Yeah, usually October is the hottest month out of the year. I honestly usually hate October, but for whatever reason,
is it technically the hottest month that year? Maybe it's not the hottest.
But it always
feels that
like
way.
It,
I feel like it's October. We should be done with this.
Yeah.
But again, it is pretty on the warm side.
So that's what we're gonna do right now, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're on Newport Pier right now. And before we...
One of two piers in Newport Beach.
One of two piers. So before we, start this tour, why don't we just give an overview of what is Newport Beach like? Like, what is it? What is Newport?
What is Newport? It sounds like such a philosophical question.
Yeah, what is Newport?
Yeah, so meta. So basically, Newport Beach is, by the name of it, a beach city. And
in Orange County.
In Orange County, yeah. And actually, it's more like central Orange County beach.
Yes.
So so you're not too far south, you're not too far north, you're just right, the nice little sweet spot. And what I love about Newport Beach is, again, well, I love it because I grew up here, so I'm a little bit biased. I do think that it's a fantastic mix of business, because you have tons of business hubs here. You have a couple of them that are really strong. You have lots of retail establishments like Fashion Island and a bunch of other places. And then you also have just like fantastic residential areas. And according to Netch.com, our schools are actually pretty good here.
Yeah, if you look at the ratings, yes. So Newport is, and okay, let's forget the number one reason that people live here, the weather, right?
Yes.
Objectively, the best weather in the entire world.
Yeah, not subjective at all.
No, it actually isn't subjective. Objective.
Case closed. It's fact.
And we say this as the sky is extremely gray, and as this entire video is going to be gray, except for the old footage that we use that has blue video, or has blue skies. But regardless, it's still a beautiful temperature. I mean, I'm still seeing people walking around in bathing suits. There's still people in the water. So even if it's a little gray.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, don't mistake this as being cold. Yeah. It's actually very pleasant right now. Like, this is actually fantastic weather. Actually, the locals probably would prefer this weather more than actually like the really warm sunny days, because let's be real, it's a little hot when it's sunny like that. So this is actually fantastic weather, especially if you're doing some sort of sports where you don't want to be like sweltering,
right? Volleyball.
So,
like if you're going to be playing volleyball all day,
or running,
which I love to do,
like especially along the boardwalk or whatever. It's really fun.
I used to run along the sand here all the time, like almost every day. So.
Yeah, and what I love about Newport Beach is, like, one of the, like, okay, let's just kind of talk about some of the interesting features about Newport Beach that kind of sets it like apart from others. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dazad.
And I'm Courtney Dazad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the beaches. I love the beautiful weather. I can't wait to move out here now. The problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country, so I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's when you reach out to us, because we have someone that's always available to show you the properties, give you a sense of what's going on. We can get really specific about what you're looking for, and we can be your boots on the ground, so we can actually do virtual tours of not just the properties, but the neighborhoods as well. So you get a really good sense of what's going on. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficient. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the area.
You have one of the largest non-commercial harbors in the country. So you have just like this huge harbor, several islands on the harbor with like amazing homes, harbor frontage, boat docks. Like there's only, I think it's one of 3 areas in Orange County where you can actually dock a boat, like, moor a boat basically. So that's really awesome too. So if you love the marine life, you can have a house, or you can just dock your boat at one of the, one of several locations within Newport Harbor. And then beaches. Amazing beaches. I love the beaches here. Like, again, just nice sandy beaches.
Wide sandy beaches.
Yes, nice wide sandy beaches. Parking actually for beach parking is not bad. Again, let's be real. Parking is never good for a beach city, but for as far as beach cities go, Newport Beach's parking is actually pretty darn good.
Oops.
Oops. So, but yeah, and actually, and it's bustling with a lot of nightlife, with a lot of, bars, and it's just, like restaurants, shopping. I mean, it kind of has everything going for it. And also, it's actually not particularly inconvenient to get to. Again, beach cities are known for being really inconvenient. So you have major arteries kind of getting you in here. Like the 55 freeway turns into Newport Boulevard and just dumps you into Newport Beach. You have Pacific Coast Highway running running along the coastal side of Newport Beach. You have Jamboree. You have a lot of different ways to get here, which is really, really helpful.
Yes, and another thing that is different, because obviously we neighbor Huntington Beach, you actually can get true beachfront property here where you're like steps to the sand. Whereas in Huntington Beach, you have the Pacific Coast Highway is in between the homes and the beaches. And
what's cool too is that I think we're going to allude to this in the later part of the video, is that if you live along, let's say, the Balboa Peninsula, what's kind of fascinating is that you can have harbor front separated by ocean front by like about 200 yards. So it's crazy how close you are to both harbor living and beachfront living.
Yes, for sure. So here we are at Hoag Hospital. This is a big draw for Newport Beach in terms of employment, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Consistently ranked, like, if not the top hospital in Orange County, one of the top hospitals. This is where our kids were born. And obviously you have this fantastic view behind us.
Now, it is a little bit gloomy today, so this is actually a rather spectacular view of the harbor in Newport Beach. So, but again, you can probably get an idea of what it's like. But it's honestly a fantastic view, and I was really enjoying it while Courtney was giving birth because I needed the support. I needed the view.
He needed the emotional support.
Yeah, I was just too stressed. I felt so much more tranquil after hearing her screams and yelling at me. I just look out here and just enjoy the view.
That's true.
Now, Hoag Hospital, as far as it's actually really convenient as well. So basically, you have Newport Boulevard as well as Pacific Coast Highway. So this is like a huge intersection right here. Yeah. So super convenient to get to, which is great because their emergency room is rather busy. So
yes, it is.
those rowdy tourists or whatever that takes place, and whatever happens in Newport.
It's a big hospital too.
Yes.
So I think people are like, oh, I broke my arm, I better go to Hoag, right?
Yes. Also, we'll say that pro tip, because this emergency room can get a little bit busy.
Yeah, very busy.
I would say that obviously if it's not that big of an emergency, if you can go to let's say the Hoag Hospital in Irvine, that is a much more quiet, quicker emergency room, because sometimes you'll be stuck in this emergency room for hours.
Yes. So here we are in the Newport Heights neighborhood of Newport Beach. So Sean, do you want to explain, what is Newport Heights all about?
Sure. So I actually grew up here, so I love it because it's obviously where I grew up. Of course, I'm a little biased, but what I love about it is that
so beyond us is Pacific Coast Highway.
Yes, and then the harbor.
The harbor.
And then, what I love about this area is that's rather convenient to get to as far as Newport Beach is concerned. You could either take, you could take Newport Boulevard, or you could take Irvine Avenue to get here. So it's pretty easy to get to off of, let's say, the 405 and the 55 freeways for that matter.
Yeah.
And then as far as what you have going on here, you have Mariners Mile, which is a strip of retail establishments along Pacific Coast Highway. So you'll have shops, some actually car dealerships and that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. And then and some dining establishments as well. And then you have obviously all these little streets, really cool neighborhoods. The major schools here are there's Newport Heights Elementary, there's Ensign Intermediate School, and also Newport Harbor High School. And then as far as the actual street, so we're right now doing this video, we're on Kings Road, which is I would say that it's the nicest street, the nicest little neighborhood within Newport Heights, and one of the nicest within all of Newport Beach. And what draws people to, let's say, Kings Road is that, okay, these houses, well, you still have some shacks, from back in the day, but then you have some absolute just mansions, there's some big homes here, and the draw is just the views, right? So you have just some harbor and ocean views potentially, depending on where you are. You have two sides of the street. You have the cliff side, and then you have the non-cliff side, basically. And they both have their pluses and minuses. The cliff side, obviously you're that much closer. Now, what some people will say as a critique is that you might hear a little bit of ambient noise from Pacific Coast Highway because it's just underneath. I've never really noticed the sound. I mean, I guess everyone's different as far as their sensitivities. I like the cliff side. I think the other side is also great too, but the other side definitely does not have that issue with any sort of ambient noise. So, but these homes are, they range. You can find them in 10 millions. I mean, or less, of course. They're kind of all over the place.
And what's interesting about Kings Road, man, it is so busy because there's so much construction. I mean, so many people have bought lots and they're tearing down everything, reconstructing everything. There's so much construction going on right now. It's kind of insane.
And it's funny that it seems like it's always the case that there's inevitably like several construction projects going on in Kings Road at any given time, just because people are outright remodeling, or like, like gutting, or like straight up like rebuilding. I mean, it's all over the place, but it is busy here.
And we just passed by Newport Harbor High School. This is actually where Sean graduated from high school. And if you look at niche.com, it's a very highly ranked high school for Orange County.
No, it was a great, I mean, obviously, anecdotally speaking, I love the school that I went to. Great school, prepared me really well for college. And, they actually, it's not a huge school as far as population is concerned, but it tends to compete really well in, all different sports.
Yes, I can attest that it prepared Sean very well for college, because Sean, not only did he never go to class, but he also never studied. But he still got good grades. Now,
you're in a coastal city when, you're seeing, lots like for selling vehicles, but it's not a used car lot or a car lot, it's a yacht lot. Yeah, so on Mariners Mile here, this stretch of Pacific Coast Highway, what we have is, there's a lot of notable like destinations, right? Like, so there's Balboa Bay Club, there's a Ferrari dealership, a Maserati dealership, your normal stuff here.
So I wonder if in the Ferrari dealership, do you think they would accept IOUs?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs.
Of course they'll accept your IOUs. It's better than money.
So here we are at Fashion Island. This is a big outdoor mall in Newport Beach, and also a big employment center. So
Newport Center is a huge employment center in Orange County, like especially within Newport Beach. You have a lot of professional services offered here, like, attorneys, doctors, like financial services.
Yeah, lots of doctors' offices here.
A little nip tuck
going.
Yeah, there's actually, this is like pretty much the plastic surgery capital of Orange County. Like, I would say, like, this is.
Yes, my dermatologist is there, but I just go there to get stuff cut off my back.
So she claims. So as well, like, onto another subject. Like, yeah, so in Fashion Island itself, really cool outdoor mall. You have tons of restaurants, nice shops, like it's, so you have like Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's, Macy's, Neiman Marcus. So you kind of have like this mix of, it definitely kind of goes pretty high end pretty quick, but there are also like some stores that don't necessarily cater just to the high end stuff.
Yeah, and it also has True Foods, which I actually really like.
That's a solid restaurant. Yeah, it's more like natural stuff, like, like organic type stuff.
Yeah, like Dr. Wheel, I think.
Dr. Wheel?
Yeah, he's the one that does it.
Yeah, it's good food. It's actually really tasty.
It's actually really good. And of course, Sean is checking out the Lucid store while we're here, because how could he not? Sean is like, he reminds me of our son when he's in the Lucid store, just like a little boy in a candy shop, basically. And there's also a Whole Foods here in Fashion Island, just FYI, another place that you can go shopping. So we just passed by Rogers Gardens, which is it's really cute place for not only gardening things, obviously plants and that kind of stuff. They have a great restaurant there. And then also they have all year round like Christmas ornaments. My sister is actually a buyer for retail companies. She is an expert in randomly holiday ornaments. And she always, whenever she comes to California, she's always going to stop by Rogers Gardens, because she says it's one of the best places in the United States for holiday items. So here we are, so we're right by Back Bay. It's literally behind us.
Right there.
And even though literally UC Irvine is down the road, I don't know, what do you think, like 2 miles that way?
Yeah, a mile-ish, yeah.
You just know you're in Newport because you can smell the salt, right?
Yeah, you feel it. I mean,
that's how I know.
It feels so good.
And I'm having flashbacks because I literally used to park on this section of the Back Bay every weekend. This is before I was in real estate, and so Sean would always be gone on the weekends, and then I'd be like, well, I'm just going to ride my bike for 100 miles every Sunday, and this is where I would start. I would start at the Back Bay.
Yeah, I mean, and I can tell you that I can't tell you how many times I've run around the Back Bay, because we used to do cross country and track, and I think I've run at least 1,000 times around the Back Bay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's a great path. I mean, it's fantastic. Again, this is an ecological reserve.
Yeah.
And
you can hear the John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne Airport's right behind us,
Yeah.
so that's like there. And no, I mean, this is just you have great bike paths here. You can walk on some trails here. I mean, it's just kind of amazing because it feels like you're in the middle of like just way on the outskirts of where nothing is. but you're actually and like Jamboree Road's right next to us.
Yeah, it's a very popular recreation area, and then obviously it goes all the way down to like the Newport Dunes, and
which is a fun place as well.
Yeah, so it's just really nice. It's very popular for running, biking, just walking, all of that kind of stuff. So right now we are in what I would really call the airport area of Newport. It's not really any homes per se. It's more just like big office buildings. Fletcher Jones, Mercedes is there. Newport Beach, along with Newport Center, which is, by Fashion Island. It's one of the biggest employment hubs in Orange County, after Irvine. And I'm sure it's, neck and neck with Anaheim. But it is a big city for jobs. So this particular part of Newport is another place where there's like headquarters, lots of businesses. And then of course it's right next to UC Irvine, which is another huge employer for the county.
So here we are, we're in Dover Shores. People love, I love this community. It's easy, convenient access. It's right off of Irvine Avenue, so it's pretty easy to get to. The homes here are really cool. I mean, they range anywhere from like homes that were like built, in the 70s and, kind of existing homes, kind of smaller homes. But then over the years, this area, like the word is out, this has been a very popular place where people built basically mansions here, and it's right off of the Back Bay as well. So yeah, I mean, again, this is a great spot, nice sized lots, nothing huge. It's not like Santa Ana Heights areas, like big, like huge lots, but nice sized lots, nice suburbia here.
Yeah, and Sean mentioned Irvine Avenue, which is a great alternate route into Newport Beach, especially when it starts getting really backed up on the 55. We've actually lived back here before, and yeah, always coming in and out of Irvine Avenue is the way to go.
Okay, so here we are in Santa Ana Heights. I'm not sure if this is the only equestrian area, but this is at least one of the few in all of Newport Beach. And so what you have here is, it's kind of pretty close. It's kind of like more or less, look at Irvine Avenue and Bristol, or like kind of like where it kind of where you're kind of at. And, this is actually like kind of near the John Wayne Airport. In fact, one ding on this area is that, you will hear some airplane noise. So just being real, like if you absolutely don't want any airplane noise, this area probably isn't best for you. But otherwise, this place is pretty awesome because you have pretty large lots. In fact, some of these homes are actually on literally a few acres of land, which is extremely hard to find in Newport Beach. And again, it's equestrian properties. Like this is right near the Back Bay. And then homes are all across the board here. They're kind of built, back in the 70s, 80s, and like in some newer stuff now. Like there's some new construction taking place right now. But it's really like one-offs, right? Like people bought a shack, demoed it, built something brand new. But yeah, the homes, some of these are actually like legit estates, like which again in Newport Beach is extremely hard to find.
Yeah, and in terms of showing you the estates, that is actually harder because a lot of the homes that are actual estates, they're behind gates, right? So we can show you the gates, but that's really not going to show you much. I can show you a few geese on one of these estates, but that's pretty much it. You're pretty much just going to see the fences of these estates.
And now we've decided to head back to Newport Harbor to check out some of the islands there.
So Courtney, do we dare cross into Harbor Island?
I would say no.
Yeah, so basically in Newport Harbor, there are several islands, right? And these islands here, some are just absolutely these are like were built, some like Harbor Islands, for instance, has some amazing homes right on the water. Basically, these are like billionaires that live here. I mean, these are people with means, to say the least. So we're just passing by some homes that are along Promontory Bay. Now this is, I wouldn't really call this a bay. I think this is more of a canal, right? Like, so it's great because these homes here that are along this are harbor, I mean, basically harborfront homes where you can have a boat dock and all this other cool stuff. Like what's nice about Newport Beach is that you have, when it pertains to water, you can have homes with ocean views. You can have homes with the harbor views. You can have homes that are on the harbor, which there's an extensive amount of homes actually on the harbor between all the canals, the islands and everything like that. And then of course you have like, let's say beachfront homes. So if you're looking for water, like some sort of water view or frontage, Newport Beach has you covered.
Yes, and now we are driving towards Balboa Island, which is another island inside Newport Harbor that you can, get some beautiful harbor views. And we are on the bridge heading over to Balboa Island. So here we are on Balboa Island. As you can see from the footage, when you enter Balboa Island, you get all of these cute little shops. And actually, if you've ever seen Arrested Development, the TV show, you see the banana stand because that's where the Bluth family would work all the time, is at the banana stand.
Later, Job was inside the banana stand, and it was getting pretty hot in there.
That show is actually hilarious and very representative of Orange County in many ways. But Balboa Island is super cute. You can see from the footage that the houses here, super eclectic, super cute. I would say one caveat is that it is rather busy here all the time, very touristy, very popular.
Sure, and also actually one thing I love about Balboa Island also is that, again, I think it's cool because they actually have like a little boardwalk that actually runs the perimeter of the island. And so you can kind of really, again, it's a great place to walk and all that stuff to like if you're in the area. I mean, again, Balboa Island's super, super cool. Another thing about Balboa Island that's really cool is that it's actually really, surprisingly for an island and all that stuff, it's pretty easy to get to because Jamboree Road pretty much dumps you into the bridge that gets you over into Balboa Island. Now, again, the bridge is like 100 feet long or something like that. It's not very long, but it's just very convenient from that perspective.
And as we wait in line to get on the ferry, which we're actually not going to do because we realized that we have literally no cash and it's cash only. But anyways, there's this little shop right by where you get on the ferry when you're on Balboa Island. It's called Once Upon an Island, and it's this cute little place. If you have a child for a birthday party, they dress up like princesses and it's really fun. My daughter has been there before for a birthday party. Yeah, that's just one random thing that I just saw. But yeah, in case you don't know, when you're on Balboa Island, there's actually a ferry that goes from Balboa Island to the peninsula, and that is a way to get across the harbor. We're not going to do it right now because it's just too much of a wait, and like we said, we don't have cash. So another thing that's popular in Balboa, not only Balboa Island, but like honestly all of Newport Beach, especially the ones that are like on the harbor or like on the beach itself, is our vacation rentals. I mean, this area is huge on vacation rentals. In fact, actually, Courtney and I both went when we were both going to college. We actually lived on the peninsula because basically for like during the school year, the rent was surprisingly reasonable because those were almost like subsidized by the summer months where people would the owners would make a killing on their on those vacation rentals. It's interesting, for as gloomy of a day it is today, it is rather crowded here in Balboa Island. And it's a Friday, early Friday, so I don't know, a lot of people seem to be playing hooky from work right now. But yeah, it's quite crowded. So here we are on Balboa Peninsula. This is like the higher numbered streets, like 30th Street plus, let's just say. And over here you got you got beachfront homes just off the beach, of course. Again, there's like Courtney and I, actually, when we were in college, we actually used to live live here during the school year. And again, it's a fun place. You got the boardwalk, you got beaches. It's a fun place, great place. But there are actually a decent amount of vacation rentals as well. So just kind of be aware that if you're kind of looking for that possible income stream, this is a great spot for it. Also a caveat, it can get very touristy down here. And then also, it can be very touristy, not that much parking. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's, not tons and tons of people, this probably isn't this part of Newport Beach that's for you. And obviously the homes down here do have garages, but if you happen to live down here and you don't have a garage, you will get very, very good at parallel parking. And it'll kind of be like in Seinfeld when they would not want to leave because they had a good parking spot. So that's kind of how it is. And definitely get to know your and definitely get to know your street sweeping streets, because like what days they street sweep, because I can't tell you how many parking tickets I've had over the years parking here. So on the other side of this harbor is Lido Island, another very cool island to live in the harbor. Unlike Balboa Island, it's really not touristy at all. It's like all residential.
Yeah, exactly. There's no commercial retail type stuff, and there's no boardwalk around the perimeter. This is really, again, yeah, if you're here, chances are you're visiting someone or you live here, basically.
Yeah, and then just behind us is one of the few high-rises in Newport Beach.
That's true. So Lido Island, again, really cool place. Again, it's mostly for it's just pretty much purely residential, of course. You do have homes here that are on the harbor. Some homes aren't so big, but some homes are pretty large. Land at a premium, as you can imagine, any waterfront, harborfront type property would be. And basically, if you're looking for a big yard, that is not what you're going to find here, right? So this is, limited space because land is at a crazy premium here. These homes, because they're on the harbor, the actual harborfront homes, many of them or most of them do have boat docks. So, and you can put depending on where you are, you can put a pretty big boat, park a pretty big boat in front of your house.
And as we head down the peninsula towards the Wedge, there's definitely quite a bit of, bars, nightlife, that kind of stuff, restaurants, a lot of more entertainment stuff down here. And then obviously as you get closer to the Wedge, then you hit the fun zone, which is another, spot where people go for entertainment. There's lots of harbor cruises, whale watching, that kind of stuff that start from down there. So one interesting thing about living on the peninsula is that really the divide between the houses that are oceanfront properties and then the houses...
Sorry.
Sean just yawned. Okay, so the difference between the oceanfront properties and then the properties that are harborfront is really only about 200 yards. So the peninsula is quite narrow. Yeah, so that's one interesting thing. You are very close to not only the harbor as well as the ocean. And then what Sean wanted to say, one other thing about living on the peninsula.
Yes, again, from our extensive time of living up and down the peninsula in college, I will say that if you live towards the tip of the peninsula, it can be kind of a nightmare getting out off the peninsula and onto normal streets. Like how we talk about Newport Heights being pretty easy access. Peninsula is not. This is it can take you a good 30 minutes just to get off the peninsula itself, because you have crosswalks everywhere, you have lights, you have just cars kind of coming in. It's just a lot of stuff going on here. And actually, as you go south, so down the peninsula and you pass the fun zone, so before that, it's actually, you have a mix of retail, residential, and everything. After you pass the fun zone, though, it becomes very residential. There's little to no retail establishments from here down to the Wedge. So, and again, as you go farther south towards the Wedge in the peninsula, this is where you can see some of the homes. Again, a lot of the homes are still your typical, small lot, small home. Some have been demoed into, from a shack to a bigger home. But then there are some homes that are even right on the harbor that are kind of huge. They're basically like mansions. I mean, they're pretty impressive. I mean, and you can find them going for, trying to, asking price of $20 million and up. Here we are. We're in the boardwalk. We're right next to Newport Pier here, and this is a cool little spot where you're getting a lot of restaurants, spaghetti factories here, for instance, which we have gone to.
It's a little nostalgia for us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The highest quality. I mean, no, it's actually it's good. I mean, it's good for what it is, and it's really fun. You have bars here. You have, it's just a fun place. And also, again, the beach is right here, so, and it's busy here.
Yeah, you probably can't hear us right now. I don't know what is going on, because it is very, as we've mentioned many times, the weather is not. It's very gloomy right here, right? But yeah. I mean, it's very crowded right now.
I mean, it's a Friday, but it's not later on. I mean, it's
I don't know. It's not like the summer. It's October, right? So yeah. I don't know why so many people are here.
But it's pretty cool. So here we are. We're at East Bluff High School. Coronel Mar High School. So you gotta admit, though, it's kind of strange to call it Coronel Mar High School, given that it's in East Bluff. But however, having said that, and you gotta sense that I'm a little bit bitter at Coronel Mar High School because they are my high school rivals. So I don't love them, even though on niche.com they get an F, which is fine. I'm just kidding. They actually rank higher than Newport Harbor High School. But Coronel Mar High School, actually a lot of, basically the whole half of Newport Coast all the way to Newport, like the back bay, that all feeds into Corona Del Mar High School. And Corona Del Mar High School goes from 7th grade through 12th. Okay, so right now we're in Corona Del Mar. We're actually within Corona Del Mar. This is the Spyglass Hill neighborhood, which is really cool. These homes have fantastic views. Well, I mean, not, you know, like, because it's on a hill, right? So you have amazing views. Now, I won't bother to show you them today because it's gloomy. You're not going to see much of the ocean anyway. So it's like, you know, I don't want to waste your time with it. But, like, I mean, the other 300 days out of the year, amazing ocean views you'll find. And these homes, pretty good size, actually. You know, we find a lot of them with, you know, 2, 3 car garages, you know, just bigger, you know, nice sized lots. You know, it's just a very comfortable setup. You don't feel squished in at all, especially because the topography here is a bit on the hilly side. So you don't feel like neighbors are just like, you know, all around you. And a nice thing also about Spyglass Hill, actually a lot of Newport Beach for that matter, is that, you know, it feels like we're kind of like out and kind of in like a very, you know, we're out in the outskirts here, but actually we're just a couple minutes away from Newport Center / Fashion Island. So it's really actually very convenient to get to from here.
So we're on Pacific Coast Highway in Corona Del Mar, and we just passed Sherman Gardens, very popular for weddings. Actually, one of Sean's best friends got married there. My chiropractor's daughter just recently got married there. Very popular. And as you can see, as we're driving down PCH, it is quite busy. You are getting definitely a lot of the traffic of people coming down to enjoy the beauty of Newport Beach. This actually reminds me my best friend, she actually moved to Colorado like a really long time ago, and she came back with her dad one time just for fun, just, you know, come visit, and we were all driving down PCH, and I just remember her dad getting so irritated because he wasn't used to the traffic, because yeah, it gets really, really crowded out here for sure.
Yeah, and actually along this stretch, you know, is basically the PCH part that's at the, you know, the Corona Del Mar Village area. So this is that stretch like from MacArthur south. You get, I mean, it's really trafficy and touristy because there's so many little shops, there's so many places to dine, and there's bars. I mean, it's a really, again, it's fun. It's just that, just be aware that, especially on weekends and stuff, it's going to be traffic. Okay, so behind us is Big Corona. This is a really popular destination. I mean, honestly, growing up in Newport, like, I've gone here countless times. In fact, actually during Persian New Year, they do this whole thing where people jump over the fire pits. It's kind of like this ritual thing from way back when. But yeah, it's a great beach, really fun, actually. And these homes here, like, this is a village, you know, area of like of Corona Del Mar, and just these homes are just cool. Now, I will say, if you're looking for like big lots, this is not the place for you, because these homes really, they kind of build all the way to the edges of their lots, basically. So land is at an extreme premium here, and homes are squished together. If you want your privacy and all that stuff, again, probably not the best area for that. Mm-hmm. But if you want views and you want to be kind of where things are happening, this is an awesome spot. And
then also Corona Del Mar, very eclectic, right? It's not like everything. One, you know, critique that lots of parts of Orange County get is everything is a different shade of beige. That is not what it's like here at all. It's so many cute houses, so many different architecture styles, so beautiful.
Oh, and also built in different times. Because obviously you have homes built like way like in the 1940s, 50s, that kind of thing. And over time, these homes have obviously, you know, some homes have been demoed. So you still have some homes that are like really old and like little beach shacks basically, and then some mansions that they built out as much as they could to maximize what the land would provide them. So we just passed by Five Crowns. This is a steakhouse, really good. I guess they call it British food, but actually it's really good. I mean, I actually enjoyed, I've enjoyed eating there, enjoyed their steaks. So yeah, highly recommended.
Yeah, unusual for British food to be good.
So here we are, we're in Cameo Shores, yet another neighborhood in Corona Del Mar. And this is pretty much the most southern tip of Corona Del Mar, right before you start to hit Newport Coast. And these homes, they're nice. They got some serious views, and they are large. They're not, some of these homes are like pretty massive, actually. You know, 4-car plus garages. I mean, nice sized lots. Like, this is, again, it doesn't come cheap, but if you have the means, I highly recommend it.
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
So here we are in Pelican Hill Resort, which is a huge resort in Newport Coast. owned by the Irvine Company. Very popular for its golf course, for its villas, for its restaurants. Yes, very, very popular. You know, many celebrities come here all the time. And it reminds me very much of Italy, obviously, I'm sure not by chance. And it's right off of Newport Coast Drive, which is a very long, steep hill that I used to do hill repeats on over and over again back when I used to train a lot when Sean was working on the weekends and I had nothing better to do. So yeah, that's what I used to do.
So here we are in Newport Coast. Actually, we're at Crystal Cove Shopping Center. And this shopping center is really fascinating because it kind of has a huge swath of the various socioeconomic price points that would work out for a lot of people. So you have stuff like the Gap, Banana Republic, like Z Pizza on one end. And then of course on the other end, you have like Javier's Mastros and like an Aston Martin dealership, so you kind of caters to a wide variety of people, which is really nice. In Crystal Cove Shopping Center is actually right along Pacific Coast Highway, kind of like the southernmost point right before you hit Laguna Beach. And then right above Crystal Cove Shopping Center is the Crystal Cove neighborhood within Newport Coast. And this neighborhood, again, is the southernmost neighborhood in Newport Coast. What's interesting about it is that it feeds, the school district that it belongs to is Laguna Beach Unified School District, right? So it's kind of interesting where that part feeds into Laguna Beach, whereas the rest of Newport Coast feeds into Newport Mesa Unified School District. And what people really like about Crystal Cove, and again, really a lot of Newport Coast for that matter, is that basically you have, it's gated, it's guard gated actually. And again, amazing ocean views. These homes are semi-custom to totally custom homes. Everything in Newport Coast is built 1990s on up, and it kind of just varies depending on the specific development and specific home itself as far as how new some of these things are and how huge they are. I mean, these homes can be really large in size, and again, it's just, it just depends on what you're looking for. And Newport Coast itself, what people tend to really like about Newport Coast is that it's, again, newer, like I was mentioning before, but everything's 1990s on up. All the communities are basically gated on some form or fashion. So if you're looking for gated, Newport Coast is definitely a fantastic option from that perspective within Newport Beach. And then the price ranges are all across the board. I mean, you have properties, around 1 million-ish range, all the way up to 60 million plus, depending on what you're looking for. So just a huge swath. And then, obviously for the 60 million plus, you're talking about mansions, right? These are huge homes, ocean views, and everything like that.
So here we are. We're in the Pacific Ridge neighborhood of Newport Coast. And as Sean was saying, one of the main reasons that people love Newport Coast is because it's newer and then it's gated, but also it's the views. I mean, today, as we've been saying on this entire video, is pretty gloomy day, but you just get some absolutely spectacular views of the ocean. It's just so peaceful, so nice. Another thing that is popular about Pacific Ridge is that it's rather convenient to get to, basically very close to Irvine, very close to the Irvine Farmers Market every Saturday. And as we exit Newport Coast, we pass by Sage Hill High School, which is, according to niche.com, the best ranked private high school in all of Orange County and very popular among people who live in Newport Beach. It's actually in Newport Beach.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California, so as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.